So lots of people have been asking to have a look at where I'm up to with my new craft room, and there it is in all its glory. Here is a new rockery that we're just starting to introduce plants. We've had some horrifically dry weather. Even though we're watering these plants, they're not really thriving that much. I'm sure they will come up soon. The brick wall, the grey brick wall there, will be covered over these next few days. We've got some lovely tiles to go on there. So we come up the steps, and I've now got my little sun deck here, which is aiming towards completed. You'll see lots of these Belfast sinks around because I need to plant these out. That's my storeroom. That's where I was sat yesterday in the shade, enjoying a nice cup of tea. These are some pieces of wood and some brick I got from Blitz Beach for a project that's coming along. So I'm quite high up here, as you can see. There's my house, round to my garden. So we'll come in now and I'll show you what's in front of me. Remember, I'm still doing lots of tidying up. So these items I need to find storage for. These are sort of, at the moment, have been my everyday utensils. Here we've got some vintage jars for my project, my latest project, which I'll show you shortly. And I've got my little ball of skelly bits for that project. So this set of drawers won't be in here. I've been emptying these out and putting things away. So though the plan is they're not in here. I'm a bit embarrassed with this. This is my vintage sewing box with my portable sewing box underneath. Yes, all that needs sorting out and putting away. Round to my sewing table here in the window. I do like this spot. I've been working here, making these little tiny portable. Let's bring it close up, does it? Trying to get it to focus. Little tiny portable pin cushions in a thimble, and they're the idea there is from Robin Dudley House, the Artsy Bohemian. So I've got all my bits and pieces here for making my pin cushions, because I'm going to sell these at my Christmas, well, at my autumn fair I've got coming up, but I'll show you that shortly. Pin cushions there, vintage pin cushion with needles, vintage pin cushion with vintage pins, and a pin cushion with modern pins. Keeps going out of focus, doesn't it? So here, I have been doing a lot of tidying up here. That's not for in there. So my drawers now, I've got stamps, I've got my natural things, tags. In these drawers, I have got, that's ephemera that I've sort of made, things to use. What's in this drawer? Napkins. Here at the minute are my papers all along there. I've not 100% decided what I'm doing, so some of this, it's all in the early stages of organisation. Smell Tim Holtz, some bits and bobs in there. So yes, I'm still organising, so do not judge me, please, please, please. My new sweeping brush. Yesterday I went to sweep up, no sweeping brush. My son had took it to my son's, not my son, my hubby had took it to my son's, so I got a new one. Here, I love these. Apparently they used to have fruit on these. My mum, these aren't my mum's, these are ones that I bought, but they are vintage, and they used to put fruit on them. Here's my angels that I've made for my Christmas fair. The dangles on, and beautiful hand-painted faces. As of my vintage fair, and they're just pinned onto this vintage mannequin. Here is my, I've got a base unit and then the top of like a Welsh French dresser there. So I've started to put bits and pieces on. Got some of my dolls here, vintage dolls. These both contain buttons. So those are my lovely mother of pearl and other buttons, and in there the same sort of buttons, but the buttons with threads on. These are my pottery finds from when I've been out and about. These need putting away in my store cupboard because I'll have a section for my paints. This is my vintage desk. Well, antique because it's Victorian, and here I've been putting all my spooky things. I'm loving how this is coming together. So bottles there that I'm going to make into potion bottles, feathers, doll's head I'll be doing something with, bottle stoppers, books for ephemera, my skellies, ready for Halloween. This is my Halloween things that I've made or that I've been gifted, so I need to work out what I'm going to do with those. Down here I've got my Halloween project. So before, when I showed you all those little vintage jars, so like these, they're mainly Bovril, Marmite, this one's Oxo. On some they need cleaning up, these jars yet, on some big driftwood that we've got on the beach. And then I'm going to put a candle in them, and I'll have all wax running down, and then something spooky. So here I'm just playing, nothing's fastened, kind of skull and crossbones. And here's like a little tiny, I call them talking boards, because I'm part of the spiritualist movement, and that's what we call them. We don't call them Ouija boards as others do. And they've got a little tiny drawer with a little tiny, is it called a plankton inside? So yeah, so I've got those, and I've got some bats and other things. So I need to go and get the candles. So I've got quite a few of these to do, and these will be going on my craft stall. So here I will have another work table. However, at the moment I've just set out my fair because I've got a craft fair, artisan market at the end of August. So I've been putting my things together. So I'll have some books, my pen holders, these little packets of Halloween bits and bobbies. There's some bottles with labels, spirit dolls and a spirit stick. I'll be putting my Halloween candles on here. And then we're sort of moving into the Christmassy section, because it's that time of the year, isn't it, where we're sort of in between both. So I've got some of my Christmas journals, vintage tree. I'm going to make some tags. These are like gifts to, and lots of love from. These little notebooks with vintage pictures on the front. These are gift bags. They did really well last year, so I'm going to maybe make some gift bags. So I've just put them out to remind me what I need to do. This is my sort of everyday artisan things. So I've got some of my fairy apothecaries, my little fairy houses and things, villages, village in a thimble. Those don't mean anything, they're just tags to remind me to price up, because I'm pricing up at the end of, not at the end of, when I put my display away from here, I'll price everything up, put it in the box to take to the fair. Here I've got some ephemera, and I've got my old wooden tray here. I've put vintage glass beads in these little coils. I've got some little vintage collectible pill boxes, rather cute they are, from the Delrado collection. They've got the certificates in, bottle tops, some crystals, some bunches of old keys, some old dolls, magic wand, me, that's me. And here I have got my cupboard. It's not filled yet, by no means. It's going to have some of my vintage and antique books. It's got my, oh, you're getting a reflection there. This lights up as well. I can't really tell in the daylight, but yeah. So I've got some of my fabrics there. There is lots more to bring down. Up here we've got my Christmas scraps, my fairy wings, these lovely, I just like these, my little fairy, this little, it looks like Dumbo, doesn't he? This little elephant that at the minute I'm just putting these hat pins in. I've got loads of these hat pins, so at the moment they're just going to be going in there, all still in the old craft room. Some of my vintage Christmas bits, and I don't show you down here. This is my big mess ready for my, just turn you, sorry for the quick turn then. I was moving you away from the big vintage mess. Not the big vintage mess, the big mess of vintage things, which is ready for the craft fair. So let's do like a panorama of the room. So it's coming together nicely. I'm not sure that I planned that chair in here, but at the moment it does me right. And that's it, and the view from my craft room. So yeah, there we go. A little tiny guided tour just for you. Thank you for watching.